Now, January is all about clean living and detoxing and getting fit again after Christmas, but we also need to detox our hair. Pamela Morrissey is back with us now again to give us some tips on how to do that, especially if your hair is blonde. Pam, great to have you back.
Great to be back. Happy New Year, Maura.
Same to you, Pam. So blonde hair, because obviously we're bleaching it, so it's more porous straight away.
Exactly. The reason we're talking about blonde hair is because it's more obvious. In darker hair, you'd feel it more, but in blonde hair, you'd see it, right? And almost all of us have chemical in our water because of our copper pipes and things like that, right? So it builds up in blonde hair. Now, I have a demo here of someone we did in the salon. She's a beautiful woman called Anne. And Anne came into me and she, again, her hair is almost natural. Once or twice a year, she gets a little bit of colour in it. But Anne walks the dogs a lot. There's two types of build-up. There's environmental and there's colour. So this is environmental. She walks the dogs a lot and she showers a lot, obviously. So between the walking the dogs and her white hair, she gets pollution off the road even. Okay. You know what I mean?
So what you did, if you just show that again, James, if you don't mind, just for a second. So this is just before, obviously, it was quite kind of dead looking.
Exactly.
So what did you do?
Well, we were colouring Anne's hair this day, and with colour you can do a thing called metal detox. So this is a spray we've discovered. You spray it in the hair before you colour it, you colour away, and then you shampoo with a metal detox afterwards. And it cleans the metals out of the hair and allows the colour to be truer. And there's a take-home product as well then that you can take home. There's a lot of shampoos and conditioners out there at the minute that are addressing this issue because everyone realises that it's an obvious issue.
Okay, that's really interesting. I believe as well you can actually get a shower head. Now, we don't have any specific ones here, but that you can buy shower heads that actually filter your water coming out, so you'll have less deposits of metal into your hair.
Absolutely. They take all the mineral. It comes in the form of lime, chlorine, copper piping. We all have it, but it's the amount of it that we see is when it's obvious, and it's really obvious in blonde, but that filter is a great idea. You can look into it online. There's different price ranges, but it's a great idea for the skin and the hair and the scalp.
Lovely. Okay, let's take a look at our next video. Now, Deirdre here, you know, has highlights through her own natural hair. And I mean, I think her hair looks good.
It does. Again, when she came in, Deirdre was only getting a blow dry, but she had said to me, I don't know, my blonde is getting a bit duller. I don't know, is it the toner?
The difference.
Isn't it amazing? And it's really subtle. So she was blaming the toner, and I said, this is the question. If you loved your blonde leaving the salon, it's not the toner. It's something that's building up. And with Dee again, it was the copper piping and the build-up that was in her water. So what we did with Dee was we sprayed through Wow Dream filter. That's another one. That's a kind of a lighter one. You can use that on its own. Wow Dream filter, sprayed it through, shampooed with Sunday shampoo, again, to get any build-up of product and that out of the hair, and then condition it.
Okay, can I just ask you, when you talk about, this is just one of many products you can get out there. So you spray before you wash your hair, is it?
Yeah. What you do with this is you keep it in the shower, and literally before you take off your clothes, Maura, you spray this through your hair, especially the outside, and leave it sit for about 3 minutes, and then you get into the shower and wash it out like normal. You just forget about everything. Okay.
And when you talk about, say you've got one shampoo, there's Sunday shampoo, but are these shampoos that actually really deep cleanse? Is that what you're talking about?
Exactly. Sunday shampoo is a very deep clean. It's something you use Sunday, once a week only. It's too harsh for every other day of the week, but it will get rid of any obvious build-up or product build-up or environmental build-up, you know, from the road and things like that if you walk a lot. So that's a great one for once a week.
Is this different now than those kind of purpley shampoos you see?
Way different.
Okay, because people at home might get confused. I'd get confused.
Yeah, that's a great question. Purple shampoos and toning shampoos will deposit. This will remove.
Okay.
So if you put on too much toner, if you put on too much purple shampoo, this is your answer.
Now you've got a jug of water here.
I have.
What can we do ourselves
again,
at home?
Right, a great top tip for getting rid of all of those things at home is, again, get some filtered water and bring it up to the shower. May it be out of the fridge or whatever, you know, those filters that you can put the jugs in.
Or a bottle of water,
Exactly, or a bottle of water, And just before you give your hair its very last rinse, so you shampoo, condition, normal in the shower, the very last rinse, you pick up your filtered water, and the middle to the ends, not so much the roots more, the middle to the ends, you give it its very last rinse, get the whole lot in, and then a good squeeze, and you continue about your day. The reason being is those chemicals don't actually build until they dry. So if you can get them out, the majority of them out, before it dries, you're ahead of the game.
Oh, that's really interesting. So they dry into the hair and almost cause that dullness.
Exactly. So if you can get rid of them in the shower without the water that you're using, you're ahead of the game.
Okay. Can I ask you, could you actually get longer out of your blonding if you continue to do these kind of things? How much longer do you reckon between the highlights?
Geez, you could, in between highlights, you could keep that blonde fresh for the whole 8 weeks if you just maintain these little things. So get yourself a good metal detox shampoo and conditioner if you're a blonde. It's not something you have to use every day, but maybe once or twice a week as a treatment. treatment. And this little hack, use this every time you go to the shower. Bring your jug of water up, filtered, bottled, whatever. Leave it in the shower, and just before you get out.
Just the last rinse. You don't need to wash your whole hair.
That will it'll keep your blonde truer. It won't stop your roots because it's not magic, but it will keep your blonde truer for longer.
That's great. Now you have a celebrity inspo here.
Oh yeah, sure, Megan Fox. She's in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. What a reason to watch Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Now she's naturally dark, isn't she?
She's naturally dark, and I'd say now it's taken a lot of work to get her there, but she's a good example of someone who maintains their blonde.
Okay.
And again, I just want to talk about really quickly how she got this look. This look I love. It's very 80s-esque, a bit more finesse in it. But if you plait your hair damp before you get into bed with a little bit of salt, like salt spray, damp before you get into bed, sleep in it, wake up the next morning, put a hot dryer through your hair, shake it out, and a little bit of oil, a light oil through the ends of it. Pick up a tiny little bit of oil, 1 drop as maintenance, through the hands, give a little clap when you're using it as maintenance, and squeeze the oil through the hair, just like this. That's a very at-home DIY look. That's why one of the reasons I picked that is because of the DIY-ness of it.
Brilliant. And do you plait the hair wet or dry?
85% dry, we'll say. So it could be dry even if you want, but 85 to 90% dry, and sleep in it.
And that gives you that kind of fat look.
And a hot dryer through it, a bit of texture spray the next day, and you're a little bit of oil, and you're made. You're Megan Fox.
That sounds great. Great tips there, and great home tips for all of us out there, especially if you have blonde hair, because it is difficult and expensive to maintain. So you want to get as long as you can out of your salon. Kind of highlights a whole lot. Now we're going to talk a little bit later on, Pam. We're going to feature our hairstyle of the week, but before that, let's go to Dahi.